Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. So today I'm gonna do a video that I've never done before, and that is a try a chapter vlog-ish. I'm gonna do this all in one sitting, so it's probably not gonna be like a vlog, but I'm gonna try a chapter of a ton of books on my November TBR to kind of see how I want to prioritize them and give you guys my initial first impressions. And I think it'll be cool to read through the first chapter of all of these and compare my first impression with my rating at the end of the month when I do my wrap up, because I'm not vlogging myself reading any of these books. So I thought it would be cool to just do like a first impression and then we can watch the wrap up together and like we can compare. I don't know. It's a fun little experiment. I've never done this before, so I'm excited. I have a ton of thrillers here. This is the entire stack of books that's going to be in this try a chapter. So I have White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson, As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson, The Woods Are Always Watching by Stephanie Perkins, Such a Quiet Place by Megan Miranda, The Therapist by B.A. Paris, The Night She Disappeared by Lisa Jewell, and For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing. A lot of thrillers, about half YA and half adult. Let's go ahead and jump into it. First, let me take a thumbnail.
Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
Let's go ahead and jump into it with White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is a mix of The Haunting of Hill House and Get Out. It's about a family who moves into this house for free, and the catch is that it's probably haunted. So I'm very excited to see how this is. I've heard a lot of hype, and I'm gonna go ahead and read the first chapter and I'll be back to tell you what I think. All right, I've finished chapter 1 plus the 1-page preface of White Smoke, and I really like it. I feel like this is gonna be another great book from Tiffany D. Jackson. I would give the first chapter probably an 8 out of 10. It did suck me in with some of the like creepy elements. Like, this main character is obsessed with bed bugs. She's super paranoid that there are bed bugs everywhere, and it like made my skin crawl. So the horror is already coming in, and the house is creepy. The like last sentence of the first chapter is like the house manager lady who's giving them this house leaving, and our main character says like it doesn't look like she is happy to go home. It looks like she's running away from ours, and that's just like, ooh, this house is gonna be creepy. And I'm also really liking this family dynamic. It's a blended family. There's like a white guy and his daughter, and then our main character who is Black. I guess like her mom is dating this white guy, so it's like a blended family, and there's the main Black girl and her sister, and then this little bratty white girl. And that dynamic is just so funny. So I'm already like endeared by the characters, and I can tell that little white girl is gonna be creepy as hell once the ghost things start. So I give it an 8 out of 10. The only reason why it's not a perfect 10 out of 10 is because it did go on a little long. Like, I felt like there was a point when they were in the car, and then when they got to the house, and then when the moving truck came, like it was 3 separate things that happened in chapter 1, and it would have made the pacing better if there was a chapter break somewhere in there. So that's what I feel about White Smoke. Let's move on to As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. This is the 3rd book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. So we're following Pip as she uses her podcast to investigate another mystery, but I've heard that this time it's like personal, like maybe Pip is getting some threats of her own. So I'll read chapter 1 and get back to you on it. I just finished this chapter. It was so quick. It was only 7 pages, but I feel like in that 7 pages, we got so much information. It was Pip and her dad getting ready to go to this meeting, and it's like a mediation thing that's carrying over from the book before. So obviously I won't spoil what it is, but I feel like that first chapter did a really great job of reminding me what happened in the second book, but also opening up more to happen in this book because Pip is having flashbacks from the trauma of the last investigation. And then the last sentence of the first chapter is just like this reveal of what she's doing in this meeting, and oh, it just like gave me chills who she has to face in this meeting. So yikes, I'm really excited to get into this and see what happens. I feel like I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. Like, that was really good. It was the perfect length. It reminded me of what happened before, and it sets up the rest of the story. I'm very intrigued to know what will happen next, but I'm not like gonna drop everything I'm reading to get into this right now, so 9 out of 10 it is. Now let's get into The Woods Are Always Watching by Stephanie Perkins. This, I don't know why Stephanie Perkins has me in a chokehold. Like, it's for no reason, but I will always pick up her books. I don't know why.
I don't know why. Don't ask me, because I don't know why, because I don't like them, but I keep reading them.
So this is a teeny tiny short little thriller about two teens who are long distance best friends, and they meet up again after a long time, go camping in the woods, and something happens. The synopsis is very vague, but it's giving me like B horror movie vibes, so let's get into it. I'm not done with the first chapter. I just wanted to note on page 1, the phrase "shut your hole" appeared, and I'm immediately put off by that. All right, I'm gonna give the first chapter of this book a 5 out of 10. I'm already annoyed with both of these bitches and we're only 15 pages in. The way that they talk to each other is just very YA. That's the only way I know how to say it. Like, there's a very specific way that YA contemporary characters talk to each other, and it's this.
Hey girlie, can I get your backpack?
No, get your own.
Hey, shut your hole.
Like, I don't like it, but also I'm ready to see these bitches die. Like, I hope they go through the torment and the torture that these woods are about to give them, and I'm going to be excited along for the ride. But as for the first chapter, because that is not happening, it's gonna be a 5 out of 10. It was not doing it for me. Also, this one girl is scared of bears in these woods, which, like, valid, bears do live in the woods, but like, she's taking it to another level. Like, her friend is kind of fucking with her, like,
oh yeah, better look out for Smokey the Bear, the Berenstein Bears, ha ha ha, he he he.
And this bitch was like actually getting mad at her. She's like, bears are serious. Like, girl, chill out. I can't. Both these people are annoying. This is the worst one that I've read so far. Thank God we're done with the YA. Let's go ahead and move on to Such a Quiet Place by Megan Miranda. And this edition has a prologue that I guess the other editions don't have. So I guess we'll see what that is. Okay, so the prologue here is excerpts from this woman's diary, 7-8 pages of diary entries. And then I really like these illustrations. Let me start here. Ooh, and there's like a community post. Oh my God, I already know there's gonna be suburban tea. And then we have chapter 1. So I'm gonna read it and I'll get back to you. Okay, this is so good. I absolutely loved the first chapter of this one. And I realized I forgot to tell y'all what this is about. So it's following Hollow's Edge, this quiet little sleepy, idyllic suburban neighborhood where everyone is looking out their windows, everybody's gossiping, everybody's all up in each other's bullshit. And this woman, Ruby, was apparently caught up in a murder investigation. She was presumed innocent and released from jail, and she has come back to the suburbs, and everyone there thinks that she's guilty, but she's not. And I love her attitude. She just waltzes in and she's like,
what the fuck is up?
Like, she's the one person in this suburb that just doesn't give a fuck about what anyone thinks of her, and I love that energy. And I also love like all the other people in the neighborhood being like,
oh my god, is she here? She's back. Is that even legal? Delete this post.
like, all this shit is so funny. If you grew up in a suburb like this, which I did, then it's so funny to make fun of these people. And I love that Ruby's just like to all of them, because I feel like that was me in my little suburb. So I really like this. It's already giving me drama, so I'm into it. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Next, I'm going to pick up The Therapist by B.A. Paris. This follows a couple moving into a new house, and the wife is feeling like she can connect to the energy or the past of the therapist who used to live in this house before her. Very vague, I don't know. Obviously, I'm a therapist, so I'm excited to see if this representation is accurate, if the ethics of this book is like accurate to my actual ethical code for being a licensed professional counselor in the state of Texas. That's the only ethical code that I can speak on, but I just want to see, is it accurate? So I don't think we're going to be getting into that in chapter 1, but I am excited for this one already. Hopefully it lives up to my expectations. So The Therapist has a very, very similar vibe to Such a Quiet Place, except there was a short preface before chapter 1 that was like past, and then chapter 1 was in the present, but the past chapter was what the therapist who lived there before was like, and I definitely would not want her as my therapist. She's not, I don't act anything like her, and I'm a therapist, so like, I don't know, she's just kind of giving me Joe Goldberg a little bit. Like, she's not murderous, but she's very judgy. Like, her commentary on meeting a new client was not therapeutic. She was judging her immediately, which is like the one thing you don't do as a therapist. She was saying like,
ugh, these first intakes are so boring.
which is like kind of true, but you're also getting to know someone who's entrusting you to guide their therapeutic journey. So like, maybe don't be a bitch about it. And she also said something else that I was just like, wait, no, that is not. Oh, she said, my new client is treating this as a job interview, as she should. I don't accept just anyone. Like, ew. What about client advocacy queen? So I don't know, that kind of annoyed me, but then I also kind of liked it, because it's like, therapists are human too. We all have our quirks and our flaws, and those moments when you don't want to be an empathetic person, but you have to because it's your job, and that's what makes it hard. But other than that, the first chapter was a lot like Such a Quiet Place, because it was just the new woman like moving into this house, and she hears the neighbors outside gossiping about her, and she's nervous, anticipating like breaking into this social circle. So that was fun to hear about. I'm already ready for more neighborhood drama. I am very interested in this, actually. The more that I talk about it, the more I realize like I really want to know more about this therapist and how she's connected to this little suburban girl. So I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10. I feel like that was very effective for me. And next, let's move on to The Night She Disappeared by Lisa Jewell. This is following the disappearance of a teen mother, and that's all I know. I like to know little to nothing about Lisa Jewell books going in, because I feel like it makes them so much more unpredictable, and a lot of the time synopses give away too much, and I don't want to know too much. So let's dive into chapter 1 and learn a little bit. Okay, I'm into it. I want to drop everything and read this book. Lisa Jewell's writing style just clicks with me. She knows how to do it. She knows how to write a book that I'm going to love 10 times out of 10. I give this first chapter a 10 out of 10. We're following the perspective of the girl who goes missing's mother, and I really like her just right off the bat. She's like,
listen, I'm not even out of my 30s and I'm already a grandmother. Like, my baby just had a baby and I'm already just sick of babies, but like, I love my grandson, so I'm gonna help my daughter out. I'm gonna take care of him. Her and her baby daddy are gonna go out for their first time to have a date night since this baby was born. Whatever, queen, y'all go out, y'all have a good time, I'll watch your little baby, but like, I'm gonna drink wine while I'm at it.
She's very much like what I would be as a young grandmother, so I'm really connected to her right off the bat. So she tells her daughter, like, stay out as long as you want, no worries. And then she falls asleep with this baby on the couch, and she wakes up in a panic at 4 in the morning, and her daughter and her boyfriend slash baby daddy are nowhere to be found. They're not answering their phones. Both of their phones are going to voicemail, and she's like, shit, what is happening? And you could feel like the panic rising, but she's trying not to panic. She's like, listen, she makes adult decisions now. She's a mother. I'm sure she'll be back in the morning. And so she's like kind of waiting with this nervous energy for her to get back. And I just want to know. I just want to know what happened. I want to know where she is. I want to know, is it the baby daddy? Is he about to kill this girl? Oh my God. 10 out of 10. When I finish the book that I'm in the middle of now, you best believe I'm picking this one up next. And now we are on to our last chapter, and that is For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing. This follows a murderous professor named Teddy. He's serving Joe Goldberg yet again. Can you tell what kind of books I like? And he kind of just does whatever the hell he wants. He has that like cavalier, arrogant, but funny and sarcastic kind of personality. And I just think that's really funny and a fun perspective to read from. So I guess he is going to be like accused of murder. And he's also going to be dealing with these like snotty private school kids and their entitled parents. And he's going to be talking shit about them and like hopefully murdering them and all that kind of stuff. Oh, because they think that he killed his wife. Okay, let's start. Okay, y'all. We have another 10 out of 10. This one is so good. I love following this man's perspective. He's so darkly funny. The first chapter is he's like in a parent meeting, and this parent is so entitled and just such a dick, and he's wanting Teddy to change his kid's grade. And this is what Teddy says.
Zach is a smug little bastard who has no appreciation for anything or anyone except himself, and that's why he didn't get an A. His paper was good, damn good in fact. If Zach were a better person, he would have received a better grade.
And that's just hilarious to me. I already know I'm gonna love following this character. Ooh, I'm gonna be reading a lot of good books this month. I'm so excited. If I were to rank the books just based on first impression, chapter 1, this is how I would rank them, with the Lisa Jewell, the Samantha Downing, and the B.A. Paris at the top. And then the Megan Miranda, the Holly Jackson, and the Tiffany D. Jackson, I'm still very, very interested in. They didn't quite capture my attention like the top 3, but I'm still very excited for them. And then this last one is just, she did not quite compare to the rest. So that is my definitive ranking just based on first impressions. I think it'll be really interesting to compare this first impression to my wrap up and how I actually end up liking and rating all of these books. So thanks for watching this video and reading these first chapters along with me. I hope you got some insights onto my first impressions of these books. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!